Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. My name is Sahil and today we're going to be cooking up a delicious keto seafood paella using some prawns and some calamari. Now, while I was searching the interwebs on how to make a paella so that I could make a keto version of it, what I realized was that the Spanish are as particular about their recipes as the Italians are. I mean, almost every paella video had people going, "This is not correct, you cannot put this in a paella, this is not authentic," and I was scared out of my wits. So I'm gonna let you know upfront that this is not an authentic paella. This is my own keto version and my take on the paella. Now, I really wanted to use some chorizo in this paella, but you know what? Putting chorizo in a paella is like putting cream in a carbonara. So I'm going to respect the Spanish people and not do that. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. So the first thing we're going to do for our paella is toast off our saffron, and I'm just taking a little bit of tin foil. I'm going to put my saffron in that and I'm just going to fold it and make a little package. Then I'm going to get my non-stick pan on the stove, and woe is me, I don't own a paella pan. And then once that pan gets nice and hot, we're going to put that saffron packet on it and just about 10 seconds on each side, and we're going to toast it. And that's it. And I picked up this handy little tip from a chef called Omar Ali Boy. Once that's done, I'm actually going to put some sea salt in the pan, and then I'm going to drizzle in some olive oil. This way you're actually seasoning the oil itself. Anyway, once the oil gets nice and hot, I'm going to throw in my shrimp and my calamari rings, and I'm just going to give it all a good mix. Now, since I've already seasoned the oil, I don't need to add any salt to this. And the reason I'm sauteing off my seafood first is because I'm worried that the seafood will overcook if I cook it with the cauliflower rice, which will take a lot of time. So anyway, once that seafood is just about cooked, I remove it from the pan. Then I'm going to add a little more olive oil to the pan, and then I'm going to add in some onion, about 50 grams. Now I'm using a spring onion because I had a very large spring onion lying around at home, lucky me, but you can use regular white onion. Now I'm also going to add a little bit of salt to the onions just to bring out that sweetness. And also, with a dish like a paella, you want to season it as you go along and keep building up layers of flavor. So just cook the onion for a minute or two till it turns translucent and it starts to get a wee bit of color. And then I'm going to add in some freshly chopped garlic. And then of course give it all a good mix. Once that garlic starts to get a bit of color, I'm going to then add in some green beans, some red and yellow bell peppers finely diced, one whole tomato which I have grated. You can also use tomato paste, no problem. I'm going to give it all a little bit of seasoning with some salt and some black pepper, as well as some smoked paprika, which is one of the essential flavors of the dish. And then give it all a good mix and just let it cook. After cooking this for about 2 minutes, I'm going to add in my cauliflower rice, because obviously we cannot eat real rice or paella rice. So I'm using our trusty old cauliflower rice. This is raw, uncooked cauliflower rice. So just add that into the pan, give it all a good mix, and you want everything to incorporate into that cauliflower. You want the cauliflower to be well coated. So give it all a good mix. And then once that's done, we're going to add in our chicken stock or fish stock, whatever you have lying around. You can also add water, but I find that stocks are always more flavorful. Now once you've poured that stock in, you want to give everything a good mix. Make sure that the cauliflower is completely submerged. And then you're just going to let it cook. But before we do that, don't forget to add in the saffron. Just crush it up a little bit, sprinkle it all over, and give everything a good mix one last time. Because after this, you're not going to touch that rice. You're not going to stir it around. You're just going to let it cook. So I'm going to cook this for about 10 minutes. I'm going to cook it covered with a lid for the first 5 minutes or so. Just let that cook. After about 5 minutes, lift the lid and just let it continue cooking Now you just want to let this cook on a sort of medium heat, and you want all that chicken stock to get soaked into the cauliflower rice. The cauliflower rice will get cooked through, everything will get cooked through, it'll get nice and tender, and then the bottom of the pan, the cauliflower rice will sort of brown and darken, and it's called sukarat, which is basically the burnt rice at the bottom of the pan. And trust me, that is one of the most delicious parts of any paella. In fact, I like to do that to any kind of rice dish, cauliflower rice dish that is. Anyway, once we approach the end of the cook, as most of the stock has dried up and the sukarat is starting to form at the bottom, I'm going to put back in all the seafood, and then you just want to spread it around and just press it into the cauliflower rice. Remember, you don't want to mix anything right now, just press it in gently and let it sit on that rice. And then I'm going to garnish it with some fresh parsley, and I'm just going to cover it with the lid and just let it cook for a last minute so that everything is fully cooked through, including the seafood, because I didn't cook it all the way through in the beginning. I cooked it about 80% of the way. Anyway, once that's done, your keto paella is ready, your keto seafood paella. And since we're on keto, I'm going to finish it with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice over the paella. Now, I'm sorry guys, I know I was not supposed to do that. You're normally supposed to squeeze the lemon over your individual portion. So I apologize, I squeezed it over the whole dish because it's my individual portion. Haha. Anyway, now we're just going to check the paella for that sukarat, that lovely burnt part, and oh yeah, that looks so good, my friends. Delicious. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, time to taste. Alright folks, so it's time to taste this delicious looking keto seafood paella, and I'm salivating. But before I dig in, I want to let you know that you can find the written recipe with the macros and all my thoughts that I couldn't fit into this video on headbangerskitchen.com. I'll also leave the link in the video description box below. Anyway, time to taste. We get a little bit of that calamari, some of that rice, some of that sucroto or sucrato, the burnt rice at the bottom, well, burnt cauliflower at the bottom.
Sokarat.
As my wife says, sokarat. I'm terrible with names. Oh.
What's my name?
Dipti. This is really delicious. There's so much flavor. And saffron really comes through. Wow. Really, really good stuff. We have a winner, my friends. And you know what? I would have liked a little chorizo in this. It would have gone so well. But hey, I'll do that off camera. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. I'm gonna go now, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers, and keep ketoing. Keep cooking, actually. Yummy. Seriously.
What is the rice called?
Sucroto. Sucato. Sucroto.
How can you be so bad at this?
What is it called?
Sokarat.
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 Sokarat.